what if there was like a toy version of a computer or a model version of a computer that's really safe, that kids can use and play around with, but that's really engaging? Develop this. So if we look at these side by side, there we go, and it's the right way around as well. And each of these components has like a little target on there. It looks like a QR code. It's not a QR code, but it looks like it. But it's just a way to target the augmented reality engine on the app.
Rebecca, I am so excited. We've just been speaking to Hannah Wright, and Hannah has shared with us some really insightful things upon her tech journey. And so she's spoken about her project coming out of the pandemic. And I really like that because it shows innovation coming through the pandemic, which was a really challenging time for all of us. She also spoke about her transferable skills from the classroom out into this world of business. And I like that because, I'm a former educator and so are you. So it was really interesting. And I'm going trademarking. That was a really good one. The trademarking process. I really enjoyed learning about that.
Yeah, and I think for me, I was a teacher for a long time and I left the classroom, and hearing her talking about going back in the classroom with her product and seeing the kids really enjoying using her product. I've had a similar experience with our tool, and it is just, it's an amazing thing to do. So she's had such a fantastic journey, and I think you're going to really enjoy listening to this one.
Let's dive right in.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Hannah Wright, and this is my tech journey.
Hi, Hannah. So you're an award-winning innovator and the founder of CirKits Limited, and you were also a teacher, I think, for over 10 years. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah,
so,
computer science teacher, yeah.
Oh, wow. So what made you set up CirKits, and what actually is CirKits? That would probably be something to help us with.
I was a computer science teacher for over 10 years. And when I started, it was when computer science first started to become, like mainstream. And I've noticed as well that beforehand I was teaching ICT, which is Information Communication Technology, but in some schools it's called Information Creative Technology. And when it was computer science was first introduced into schools, this was back in 2011, there was a lot of panic in teaching programming, which is why a lot of resources have been pumped into programming and trying to make programming engaging, because like many teachers at the time, I was panicking about how to teach programming. I ain't got a clue. So a lot of funding was pumped into programming because that's one of the main big modules in computer science was programming, and the other one was all about the computer itself and binary and things like that. So I taught that for a bit, and what I've noticed as well is when we were teaching the inside of a computer, I taught using PowerPoints. Hold my hands up to that. I taught using PowerPoints, and even had a year 8 kid say to me, "Miss, this is boring." And I'm like, yep, it is. Because how can you teach something tactile without something tactile, physical, tactile, How can you teach hardware without the hardware? So I used to use PowerPoint, here's a processor, here's a RAM, and it wasn't the way that I like to teach. It wasn't the way I like to learn, because I'm quite a tactile person. I learn by doing. But I was in teaching in these schools for about 10 years, as I said, and I ran the department for about 6 months before I left. I was due to leave anyway because I wanted to do a master's. I wanted to do a master's in graphic design, and I did that at Huddersfield Uni. And because it was part-time over 2 years, in my final year, I thought I had to think of something that I could create that can solve a problem, basically like an entrepreneurial project. And so what I thought was, right, going back through all my years, what could I do that could really leave an impact, that could really make a difference, that can help? And I thought back to when I was teaching and when I was actually in the classroom and trying to engage these kids. And I thought, right, because when I'm teaching hardware, we didn't have the funding in the school to take apart 30 PCs. So what we did was we had to use PowerPoints. Yeah, we made them as engaging as possible. I did some quizzes in there, stuff like that, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. So what I thought was, right, okay, what if there was like a toy version of a computer or a model version of a computer that's really safe, that kids can use and play around with, but that's really engaging. So what I did was I developed what's known as the component builder, because it's made up of components and you build it into a PC. And so what I did was because COVID hit, I had to purchase a 3D printer, one of those ones that's like a whippy ice cream one kind of thing. That's the best way I can describe it. And developed many iterations of a motherboard, and had it tested in the school that I was in, because I was still doing supply part-time when I was doing my course. And they really loved it. They really loved it. But what I did as well is from my own bat, I learned about Unity and how to do an augmented reality app. So not only is this the 3D printed model of a computer, but kids can actually use an app to actually learn about the different components. And the scenario that I came up with was the motherboard is like a town, and each of the components are like buildings to develop in this town. So the graphics card is like an arcade. The power supply unit is a power station, kind of like a little mini Simpsons town, I suppose. And the kids get it. The kids really get it. And from this, it had legs. It really did have legs. And my mentor actually told me that I could make something from this. This is a really good idea. Nobody's ever come up with this before. And me looking back, I thought, you know what, you're right, because researching a lot of different physical resources out there, it's mainly geared towards programming. You've got the Raspberry Pis, beautiful kits, but you're focusing on programming it. Same with the Crumbles, same with many others, the microbits. You're focusing on the programming side of it. So I wanted to create something where the hardware comes first. And once kids understand how and why technology works the way it does, it helps them later on and it sticks with them. So I went to Huddersfield Uni Enterprise team, and they put me onto Business Kirklees website. And they told me, I had a lovely lady who was mentoring me and the Business Kirklees. And she said to me, right, you need to apply for all these different programs because you've got a beautiful product, but you know nothing about business. And I'm like, yeah, that's nail on the head. So she says, right, I want you to apply for these different awards, these different programs to help you. And get some funding as well if you can. So I was like, right, okay then. So I applied for the Innovative Entrepreneurs program, which is all about the introduction of business. What is a business? That kind of thing. The Royal Academy of Engineering, because I've already developed like a little prototype, but I just need to develop it further. And the Innovate UK Unlocking Potential, because what I wanted to do was create 25 of these kids, go around the country and get some proper data. So I applied for those, and unfortunately, I won. So during was it 2024? I was juggling 3 different programs plus product development plus being a mum. So it was wow. But oh my God, was it rewarding. And I met so many people. It was brilliant. RTC North were the main people who were sort of guiding people through it and stuff. And I was part of the Investability as well program to help strengthen those skills. And I did the national trial around 10 different schools around the country, testing these kits, and the feedback was just absolutely incredible. This needs to be in schools. And And throughout all that, I've been exhibiting, I've been, again, doing workshops and things and developing this further. And it's just one hell of a journey, really. Lots of ups, many downs, but I'm still here, and my motivation is just seeing the kids play with it. It's such a lovely feeling, and the fact that they're retaining that information and they can say it back to you. Oh, this does this and this does this, and it's like that's what we're after. That's what we want to. That's what we want to have.
Excellent.
That's what computing lessons should be like. It should be people getting in there and digging around and exploring, and the fact that I help to do that is really, really, really encouraging. It's really good. Yeah.
It's amazing, Hannah. It's fantastic. And it's really good to hear that, this grew partly through the lockdown. And I'm always fascinated by people's lockdown projects and where we've now ended up with them. So you've created Component Builder as a way to mix together 3D components and augmented reality. And that's, as you mentioned, it's a very tactile way of learning. It's really much needed. So how did you decide which features were essential and which to leave out?
That is an awesome question. What I first did was I looked at a real motherboard, and I have one right here. I looked at a real motherboard and I thought, right, okay then, why aren't kids using this? Well, first thing is it's spiky. It's not very tactile at all. It's sharp. Same with these bits here. I've scratched myself so many times when I'm demonstrating these at events, and it's overly complicated. So what I thought was, right, what are the main things on the motherboard that would make the computer work that the kids need to know? And I looked at the curriculum as well, because learning hardware is actually part of the computer science curriculum, because the way we explain it when we do careers and we talk to like year 8s and year 9s who are choosing GCSEs, it's like, right, between ICT and computer science, think of ICT as the front end. So you talk about your website, you talk about the apps and the software. Computer science is the back end. So you're talking about the hardware, you're talking about the programming side of it. So this is actually learning about the different bits is actually part of the curriculum anyway. So I thought, right, okay, what exactly can I take from this to make it a lot less complicated, but also more tactile, safe, and even younger students could use it from Key Stage 2, which I have actually taught as well. So what I did was I got the layout of this, after many iterations, developed this. So if we look at these side by side, there we go, and it's the right way around as well. You've got the top bits, you've got the big squares, you've got the big like rectangles at the bottom, which is like this. But I've just taken all the little cylinders, transistors, resistors out of this and just sort of simplified it completely into something like this that is tactile. I've even put felt on the back, no sharp bits on here, and the kids love it and understand it. And what I've done is I've got about 20 different components that the kids can put into here, and it slots in really nicely, like that. And like, for example, the RAM stick. And the great thing about this is that it can only go in one way, so you can't put it in that way. But if I turn it over, it slots straight in. So just like if you're building a computer, it's very difficult to get it wrong. Yeah, you can break it and snap it, but it's very difficult to get it wrong because it will only go in one way. So, yeah, it's
Hannah,
things like that. So,
yeah. I see, there's applications perhaps even beyond the classroom. It's, anyone who wants to understand hardware, and hardware is all around us. I think it's really important. So it's fantastic. And something I'm fascinated by is how did you ensure that CirKits and Component Builder is inclusive because you've got a wide range of learners out there. So how did you ensure that inclusivity?
Again, great question. When I was doing the national trial, I went round to a variety of different schools, including a very challenging school as well that had special special educational needs in there as well. And what I did was I took the data from how they played with this, and that included how they played with the app as well. So what I wanted to do is make sure that it adhered to their needs, and it helped them focus long enough to retain the information. So instead of giving them like worksheets, which I do have as well, I've got like worksheets to go with this and stuff like that. I was just mainly talking to them and comparing it to like a games console and stuff like that, because they're all like computers, really, aren't they? They've all got a motherboard. They've all got, even this has got a little motherboard inside it, you know, and try and relate it to them. So in this case, for this, I made sure the colours were bright. I made sure that everything wasn't sharp. I made sure it only goes in nice and smooth and snug in one way as well. And just talking to them. Yeah, basically, I don't know what else to say.
I think it's amazing that I really like the fact that your first thought was to pilot it in schools and a wide variety of schools. I think very often with EdTech, it's made by somebody in isolation, and then once it's perfect, it goes into school and then suddenly it doesn't work. But actually, when you're building something from the ground up and you're testing it with the young people who are going to be those users, you're getting that feedback all the time, and it's really, really useful, isn't it? Because they come up with things that you would never have thought of. So whenever we're building products that are going to be used in the classroom with young people, we absolutely have to get them right at the beginning. And I think it's amazing that you've done that. So what did you do to measure the impact of that? Because I've heard that you've increased student attainment as well with your tool as well. So how did you measure that impact?
Basically, it was from a lot of student feedback, teacher feedback as well. How I did the trial was I visited the school. I actually gave them one of the kits as well as a mobile phone with the app on it. And then I came back in a couple of weeks' time and visited the school again. I had a good sort of chat with the teachers, with the students, got some feedback forms, and actually asked them, you know, the questions. How do you feel? Does it make you want to go into STEM? And it was from those conversations, I was able to measure the impact, really. We even did things like did a test before using Component Builder and afterwards, and then comparing results. But a lot of it was the quotes from what the students have said, what the teachers have said. The fact that 90% of teachers want these in the lessons and it improved engagement, I think that's incredible. And student feedback had a 92% positive feedback. I mean, the stats speak for themselves, really.
That's really, really good. Was there any piece of feedback that really surprised you the most that you can remember? Putting you on the spot there.
I remember one of the students saying to me, "Can we keep the phones?" I'm like, no, you can't keep the phones. I wouldn't say it was surprising. It was definitely things that I could do with improving. 100%. It's things like with the app, with the augmented reality app, it was like, oh, maybe it should have different languages. Maybe you should be able to touch it. It's basically like user interface things. You should touch it and then it will speak. I could give you a quick example of how the app works.
Please. Yes, definitely.
Right, so this is basically using a camera that's on here. And each of these components has like a little target on there. It looks like a QR code. It's not a QR code, but it looks like it. But it's just a way to target the augmented reality engine from the app to register this. So let me give you a quick demo. So for this one, it would help if I turned up the sound.
Images, text, video, and user input on the screen. The more powerful the graphics card, the better the graphics shown on the device screen. Why do some graphics cards need fans?
There you go. So if we take the motherboard, I've got a little map, massive target of the motherboard. So if you have a look at this.
Motherboard, town. A motherboard is what all of the internal and external components are connected to. It is a printed circuit board that is the foundation or skeleton of all devices. The motherboard allocates power and communication.
The kids absolutely love it. I mean, the fact that they can use a device in the classroom and it just pops, it's just brings it to life, literally brings it to life. And as I said, the kids...
Yeah, that's it. It's bringing it to life. That's, kids get excited about it. I can see that I'm getting excited about it. So my question then to you now, Hannah, is what's been the most rewarding part of your journey? And I've got a feeling, I think I might know what you're going to say, but let's hear it from you.
I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but it's the most rewarding part is being in the classroom and seeing the kids play with it and understanding it and wanting to learn more about it. That's been really rewarding. And when I get like my down days, I'm like, oh, I've got to do this and paperwork and admin, and it's like, no, this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm doing it, seeing the kids play with it and learning from it and wanting to do more. That's what keeps me going. That's what I find really, really rewarding. And I think that's like the teacher in me, really, because I've always wanted to be a teacher. It's actually my mum who said to me, because I was actually helping her with her laptop and I was being so patient with her. Mum isn't the best of students, most patient, but she said to me, Hannah, you're so patient with this. You should become a teacher. And I'm like, And at the time, I was a 3D artist. I was a graphic designer, and like a software developer in a software company. And it was just one weekend when I went over to my mum, and she suggested this, and I'm like, oh, I'll look into that, and it's blossomed really. And I love helping people. I love teaching people, and just seeing the classroom buzzing, and kids getting excited, doing the group work. It's just been amazing. And these skills, it will stick with them, because I feel like we've lost some of these skills. Like in the 80s and 90s and even the early noughties, we could take things apart, we could put things together. But now, because a lot of things are sealed, we can't really do that. So we've kind of lost some of those skills. So I'm hoping that teaching kids, adults, and parents, and whoever is interested, teaching them those skills, again, will help give them the confidence if they want to upgrade things, cut down on e-waste. That's another big tick, the Right to Repair Act that came out in July 21, to cut down on e-waste. If you're able to fix things, they'll save you money and cut down on it, and it ticks a big sustainability mark. That's brilliant.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Yeah. So I meet quite a few people that were teachers, or still they might still call them. I mean, I tend to call myself an educator. I was a classroom teacher as well, and Beverly was.
So was I,
and who then go on to set up a company or make a product or do something. So there'll be teachers out there that might have an idea to create a product to use in the classroom. What advice would you give them about taking that leap?
It's a great question.
It's a fab question. What advice?
Just stepping out there and being bold, doing something different.
Just do it. Just try. Just try it, because you never know. You might get there. Just try it. I mean, for example, I know we had COVID. There is support out there. There's support. There is support out there. I mean, I know I did my masters, and then I went to the enterprise team from the same uni that I did my masters from, and then it progressed to business Kirklees, and then it progressed to That was my journey, but nothing stops you from going straight to Business Kirklees and seeing with an idea. I mean, even programs, there's loads out there. Programs like the Innovative Entrepreneurs, that's part of Leeds Beckett Uni. I didn't even go to that uni, but I was suggested to do that course. And I knew nothing about business. And that told me all about, right from the beginning, what is a business plan? What is a value proposition thing? What are all the models that you need to help you build a structure for your business? And then it followed on for, strength to strength. And I would suggest you just try it. Just be bold. There is support out there. If you're serious about it, there's support out there. And just take that leap, because you never know. Just take that leap. And what I've learned is people love your idea. That the idea is now out there now. In my case, it's now out there. And it's amazing how many people love this idea when you just think, oh, it's only an idea. Oh, I don't know. But no, it's like, no, this needs to be out there. This needs to be out there. Can I have this in my school? And it's such a great feeling that you feel like validated almost.
That, Hannah, brings me to something that, you said it's out there. You've got the product out there. And I noticed that you had a little R next to your product, which is it's a registered trademark, which is very important when you're getting your product out there. Can you tell us a bit about, for our listeners, what is a registered trademark and the process you took to get a registered trademark?
Yeah. I registered the company because CirKits Limited has a little arm on it as well. I went onto the IPO website. So I went onto the website, and what you can do is you can you can search for your name and see if your name is out there or already being used. And if it's not being used, you could register for a trademark for it. And it's got to be under different, classes? So mine is under education. Because there isn't another company called CirKits Limited under education. So I can apply for CirKits to be that, as well as component builder. But there are like websites that you can search for different names and things like that. So that's how I got the name. And because there's already a company called CirKits, but it's a small company that sells motherboards, and I think it's in America. That's why I've registered CirKits Limited rather than just CirKits, because I just wanted to keep that distance. Even though in a totally different class, I just wanted to keep that distance. So that's how I did that. So I went on to the Intellectual Property Office. For the actual design and the actual design for the component builder itself and the different designs, even down to the little characters as well that I've got, and the logos. For that, I did the same thing. I went to the IPO and I did what's known as register for design IPs, because I can't register an augmented reality app because there's already augmented reality apps out there. So I thought, right, okay, I can't register a motherboard. Obviously, there's motherboards out there, or even the town concept. Can't do that. But what I can register is what it looks like. So every time I do new iterations of this, even down to like the length of this and stuff, because this has changed so many times, I'm always updating the design IP, so it's always up to date, and you get certificates from it. The great thing about it as well is that if you're stuck, they do give you feedback, so you can apply for it, and if it's not quite right, you've got to change some wording here and there, they'll tell you. So then you change it, and then you apply again, and they'll give you a certificate. And that's it. So you put that in your folder, and that could be part of your data folder. So,
it's basically. Really, because we both went through this process with our own companies, and I'd say the IPO sounds like an advert for the IPO, but they were really, really helpful.
Very helpful.
For what you might think could be an intimidating process, it was actually really straightforward to work. You just had to work through the process and answer the questions, provide your evidence, and think about what it is you're trademarking. So you've just mentioned that updates to CirKits and when you're adding updates to it. What's next? If you could tell us.
Wow.
Sneak
Yeah,
peek.
I can tell you. I can give you sneaky peeks. At the moment, I'm doing the workshops, and that includes the inside of a computer, entrepreneurship skills as well, which is really good for students who are thinking of looking at different STEM careers, because I can use what I went through, step-by-step guide, as an example. So in one school, I actually got a standing ovation for it. So I was like, oh, thank you. Because I brought in all of my different iterations of Component Builder. Yeah, so this is my first one, look how naff that is. And this is the recent one, so even shown them, because I would be like a case study. So I'm doing the workshops. I've also done a couple of e-safety workshops for parents, as well as for kids at Key Stage 2. So we're talking about 6-7-year-olds. So I was giving parents the confidence on how to talk to their own kids about e-safety, what are parental locks, how to make sure the home network is safe and things like that. And that was very, very popular. So it's the workshops. I've also got a poster as well, which I'll give you a sneak peek of, which is like a poster version of the Component Builder, which is like an activity poster as well. So kids can use this. There's like a couple of posters that comes in the pack. The kids can use this to kind of draw on as well and match up where things go. And this will be good for like on the classroom wall. And later on, I'm hoping to do like a full digital version of Component Builder as well, which is similar to a PC simulator where you're putting it together, but very, very, very cut down, very colourful, very interactive for younger students. That's what I'm thinking of doing in the future, as well as little things.
Yeah,
as well as loads of little things like including electronics in there. I could go for ages about it. But yes.
Sounds very
I
exciting.
say too much. I probably said too much now, but yeah.
Don't say too. Yeah. So for our new season of our podcast, we're introducing this new feature, which we're going to call 5 Burning Questions. So these are going to be rapid fire. So get ready, like really short, sharp answers. Answer really, really quickly the first thought that comes to your head. Okay. So
Yes.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. How did you fund your product?
Innovate UK Locker Potential funding and Royal Academy of Engineering Regional Talents Engine funding, as well as bootstrapping and yes. I think that's
Next.
That's good. What is the best marketing tip that you can share?
Getting out there, exhibitions, be part of the STEM community as well. Be a STEM ambassador, be a Cyber First ambassador, because you're then in contact with a load of people who can help and support you as well on that journey.
Brilliant. And who inspires you and why?
My mum. My mum inspires me. My mum and my dad.
Well done, Mum.
actually.
Well done, Mum.
Yeah. My dad's passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, my mum. My mum inspires me.
Brilliant.
She's a very strong woman. She helps. She's my kick up the backside. She's great.
Amazing. So what business tool could you not live without?
Outlook.
Yeah.
That works.
Okay, and last one. What motivates you to keep going when things get tough?
My kids, because they're messing with this as well. My kids. I've got a little girl who's 11. I've got a little boy who's 7, and they help keep me going. And seeing them play with this, seeing the kids that I work with play with this, that's what keeps me going. And yeah, That's what keeps me going.
Excellent. Hannah, you've certainly been on a tech journey. And we like to wrap the podcast up with a piece of advice to your younger self. What would that advice be?
Take the support that's available out there. You're only one person. It's okay to say no if you genuinely think that you can't do it or haven't got time to do it. That's okay. Be kinder to yourself and be patient. Be patient with yourself as well. Not everything's going to happen today, you know. And I think lastly, be kind to yourself. I can't remember if I already said that, but yeah, be kind to yourself, because I am my worst critic. So yeah, be kind to yourself.
Hannah, those are wise words.
Okay, so before we wrap up, Hannah, where can people find you and find out more about CirKits?
Our website is the best, one of the best places, as well as my LinkedIn. The website is www.cirkits.co.uk, and CirKits is spelled CIRKITS because it's a kit. So cirkits.co.uk, and if you want to know more about the workshops, I've got this here. It's just cirkits.co.uk/workshops. If you want to book a workshop, I'm happy to visit your school and and have a chat. I'm also on LinkedIn as well, and I update that quite regularly. So yeah, pop along and contact me for a chat. I'm happy to do so.
And you've got a fab newsletter that you send out also.
I've put newsletters out there. I've got a video of me out there advertising the workshops. And you'll see me at exhibitions, giving out leaflets and little freebies as well. So yeah, I'm happy to chat.
Thank you so much for joining Tech Journey Insights today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.